ちが命。久しぶりだな、サスケ。
Hi, I'm Ava. And my mom sold me to someone else because she told me I was too ugly to be her daughter. She used to be a famous ballet dancer, but when she got married and had me, she quit her job, thinking that my dad would pay for everything in her life. Unfortunately for her, Dad caught on really quickly with her gold-digging ways. And so, he left her penniless and homeless. Alone and without a job, she had to take care of herself. What was more, she didn't know she was already pregnant with me. My mom suddenly had to hustle. She worked 3 jobs and began husband hunting again, all while heavily pregnant. But being as beautiful as she was, she didn't have to work for long. By the time I was born, she'd already found a rich old guy to marry her and be her sugar daddy. But from the moment I could remember anything, I was always in some nanny's hands. I never saw my mom or my dad. They were always busy going on some tropical holiday in exotic parts of the world. For an entire year when I was in elementary school, they were on a yacht, hopping through Micronesia and Hawaii. They missed my birthday that year, too. I never had a birthday party. Every year, my parents would be away, and they'd only send me a gift card, if anything at all. It was my nanny who was always there. She'd always hug me and bake me a cake. She'd even arrange all my toys and pretend like we were having a huge party. That changed a little bit when I met Sarah. She became my BFF immediately. For once in the years after I met her, there was at least one more person attending my parties on my birthday. But when I turned 12, my world came crashing down. I was sitting with my nanny and Sarah in my bedroom, opening the gifts they gave me for my birthday, when my parents came bursting in. I was ecstatic. I jumped up from my bed and hugged my parents. "You made it! Yay! You're back! You made it for my birthday!" My mom recoiled from my touch, and so did my dad. They both pushed me away and immediately began to dust themselves off, as if my touch carried some sort of disease. "Gross! Get away!" "Huh? Your birthday? I didn't even know that was today. Did you, hun?" "No, I had no idea. If I'd known, I'd have scheduled us to be back a day later so we could have avoided this sad excuse for a party they're having. Ugh, all this awkwardness." "I know what you mean, sweetie, but anyway, we're here now and the sale needs to happen sooner rather than later anyway." I didn't even know what was happening. One second, I was jumping for joy to see my parents on my birthday for the first time. The next, they were packing my bags. "What? What's happening?" "We're getting rid of you." "Getting rid of me?" "Yes, you ugly, stupid child. Keep up. Your mom has been wanting to get rid of you for a while now, and I agree with her. You're having you as our daughter just isn't working for us." "Oh, stop beating around the bush, honey. Just tell her the truth." That was when my mom turned to me and dumped a bag full of my clothes on me. "You, Ava, are too ugly. That's it. That's the truth. You're too ugly. I don't know why. I'm gorgeous. Your biological father wasn't bad looking either, and yet, here you are, ugly as an unwashed, hairless dog. So we're getting rid of you. You're lucky someone even wanted you. I've been trying to do this for years, but nobody's been interested at all. This guy who wants to buy you must be absolutely desperate for a kid. I heard he was so ugly that nobody even wanted to marry him, even though he's a billionaire and all." "Mom, please don't do this. I'll be a better daughter, I promise. I'll be the best daughter." "That's not possible. The sale is final, and besides, your father and I plan on going on more amazing vacations. We simply can't bring someone as ugly as you. How about her? What's your name, kid?" I'm Sarah. Perfect. And are you poor, Sarah? Yes. Great. You're a pretty girl. Tell your parents we're going to adopt you. They should be happy with 100,000. Ma'am, sir, please. You can't do this. Ava's your child, please. No amount of protesting from my nanny helped me. Within the hour, my parents had me out of the house, and I was picked up by a man in a limo. He wasn't as ugly as my parents said. Are you my dad now? The guy simply laughed. Me? Oh, no. Mr. Ainsley will meet you at the house. He never leaves the property. I imagine you're quite excited to meet him. Excited was the last word I'd use for what I was feeling. The house was enormous. There were maids and butlers who were lined up by the door to welcome me, and up the grand staircase was a man, his arms wide and welcoming. My new daughter, come! I'm so sorry it had to happen this way. You must be so horrified. But I assure you, I will take good care of you. I'm just happy I got to rescue you from those awful people. I loved my parents, but when I look back at the things they did, I could honestly say they didn't deserve my love. So I hugged Mr. Ainsley and I said hello to my new life. I didn't know what to say, so I looked at my shoes and said, "Thank you, Mr. Ainsley." You can call me Dad, or, I don't know, maybe it's too soon. Just call me David for now, and when you're ready, I'd really love it if you can call me Dad. I smiled at him. He was not so bad after all. He was already kinder than both my old parents combined. David had a maid dress me up in a pretty dress. When I was done, the maid led me to a massive dining hall. There, several guests wearing formal attire stood from their seats and clapped when I arrived. They congratulated me and David for finally adopting a kid. We were all worried you'd let all this wealth go to waste without an heir. David laughed that off. Yes, it's no less than a miracle. I'm so happy to have Ava in my life now. Ava, please, take a seat. Dinner will be served shortly. One of the guests joked. You took a shortcut by adopting a kid. But when are you going to find yourself a wife? Before David could laugh in response, a chilling cry came from outside. Ava! Please! Let me see her! The guests rushed to the windows. I did too, and I saw my nanny gripping the bars of the gates and begging the security guard to let her in. Do you know her? That's my old nanny. Tears began flowing down my cheeks. She was the only person who loved me and took care of me. Let her in, David commanded the guards. I learned that as soon as I left, they made her take care of Sarah. And as soon as my BFF got adopted and became rich, she turned into an awful brat. She would torture the nanny and bully other kids at school. My nanny missed me, and she could no longer take care of Sarah, so she ran to find me. I'm really sorry to hear what you've been through, Miss Wanda. My name's Wanda. Miss Wanda. I wish I could do something, but I can't really hire you to be Ava's nanny anymore. I wish to raise her as my own, and I want to be there for her myself. But you know what? How about, would you consider working for me? As an assistant, perhaps. That way you can be here all the time. You can even stay in one of the rooms, and you can see Ava anytime you like. David's kindness was so beautiful to see. He always helped everyone, and he was always kind, even to strangers. It didn't take me long to start calling him Dad, and when I did, he even threw a party just because of that. As time passed, not only my relationship with my new dad evolved, he and Wanda got closer too, and eventually they fell in love. Dad proposed, and my old nanny became my new mom. Nobody could have been happier about that than me. Finally, the two people who truly cared for me became my parents. I grew up and became a young lady. I graduated, and David gave me a job in his international company. All the while, I learned everything from him. "One day, you will own all of this," he would always remind me. When I was out having dinner with my parents, someone tapped on my shoulder. And when I looked to see who it was, Sarah's familiar face greeted me with a smile. She still looked the same, except taller and prettier, and with a handsome boy holding her hand. "I knew it was you! After all these years! Fancy meeting you here, Ava! I knew I couldn't mistake that ugly face. Ugly as always! And on the night of my engagement, too! See? The ring's huge, isn't it? Cole gave it to me. It's been in his family for hundreds of years." What a horrible thing to say! Dad was about to stand from his seat and give Sarah a talking to, but I stopped him. Dad, please, sit down. It's okay. Really, it's fine. I was only ever friends with you because you were rich. But now, I'm rich too. And I'm not surprised you still don't have any friends, because you can't really fix ugly unless you pay for it. Which, by the way, you have all that money and you still haven't discovered plastic surgery? And your dad's not looking any better. Ugh. It's no wonder only a former nanny could stomach marrying him. Ugh. You must be desperate, Wanda. But look at you now. You're married to a billionaire, except I bet you have to close your eyes when you kiss him. You happy now, Sarah? Can we please go back to our food? Congratulations on the engagement, and I hope you live a happier, less bitter life. Sarah's fiancé laughed, but Sarah wasn't happy at all. She slapped him for laughing at my joke, and the ring cut him in the cheek. The fight escalated, and Sarah started screaming at her fiancé. But the moment Cole saw that she'd drawn blood, he sat her down and exclaimed, "That's it. I've had enough of your ugly attitude. I only agreed to marry you because your dad convinced my dad it was a good idea. Give me back that stupid ring." When she wouldn't, Cole grabbed it off of her and knelt in front of me. Sarah lost her mind. She screamed and began turning tables over that she had to be taken out of the restaurant by the police. I didn't really marry Cole or said yes to his proposal. I only agreed to get back at Sarah. But we went out a few times, and I think tonight he's going to ask me again. I'm going to say yes.